السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رحمة المهداة والنعمة المزان والاه. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. أما بعد، we are in the ayah 249. This ayat from ayah actually 246 in this coming ayat. I think maybe Dr. Nasim already talked about it. But this about the story of a king from Bani Israel that appointed by a prophet in Bani Israel. Let me give a background a little bit. After the death of Musa alayhi salam and the death of Harun alayhi salam, and after the wilderness for 40 years, there's other prophets come between to Bani Israel. Among them, Ilyas alayhi salam. And actually Bani Israel were defeated, and there was a tabut. Has Musa alayhi salam, they say this staff and other things that shows the prophethood of Musa alayhi salam. For that was stolen, was taken away. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them a prophet, Shamuel, to be their prophet, to guide them. But they asked for political leadership. In Bani Israel, in the history, that prophethood and kingship was separated until it came to Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman, and the political leadership, the kingship and prophethood get connected again. Therefore, it was separate. Therefore, there's a group called al-Amaliq. This prophet Shamuel, they called him in his song, in the translation, he appointed a king. They said, point us a king, a leader. If we point as a king, then we can fight and liberate, the Holy Land. Therefore, he said to them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen Talut. Talut become the person Allah appointed. They said, how comes he can become the king and he is not a wealthy man? The criteria was, to be a king, you have to be rich. And this, by the way, is a relationship between power and money. In general, through the history, money and power are connected. Especially nowadays, who give you donation, fundraising, politics, and vote. Two things influence politics in America. What are they? Two things: money and vote. You have the numbers to vote and you have the money to give. Then you get the ear. That's what it is. It's not something that, like I said, something profound. Everyone knows. Therefore, your congressman and congresswoman, they might say that they're serving everybody, but they serve more. This is just fact. For the person who gives the big check, and the person can mobilize more vote. Therefore, they take you serious. Otherwise, you're not important. And that's why they say that, how can you make a senator or a congressman answer the phone? ask a donor to call them. You know what I'm saying? This is not something, to be shy to say, huh? This is a part of politics in America. And that's why in the Quran, Allah connected money was power. ما أغنى عني مالية هلك عني سلطانية. My money is not helping me, my power is gone, because in some countries, when you are in power, you get money. In some places, power gives you money. Money gives you power. Get my point? For they said that he doesn't have money. He's not a wealthy guy. How can he be the king? Allah said, Allah اصطفى زاده إيش؟ بسطه إيش؟ في العلم والجسم. He said to him, you need a fighter, a warrior. He's built physically strength, but also have knowledge. So he changed the criterion of leadership. Very important when you read these verses. He changed the criterion of leadership. He said it's not about money, it's about knowledge and the strength. Because sometimes their money buys them power, but they may not be entitled. They may not be good for that leadership. But the money did it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is in the Old Testament, this story. This story in the Old Testament, the Bible. The ayah 249, am I correct? No. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did, the proof of his prophethood is a tabut. They brought the tabut. The malaika brought the tabut of with the signs. What have, as Mufassirin said, Asa Musa and others, things in it. And malaika brought them and brought the tabut, and that's a proof that to accept his leadership. طيب. Then he took Talut, he took his army into confrontation of their enemy, to confront their enemy. فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود قال إن الله مبتليكم بنهر فمن شرب منه فليس مني ومن لم يطعمه فإنه مني إلا من اغترف غرفة بيده. He says غرفة غرفة, two رواية, ضمة or فتحة. He said, Allah going to test you, say to his army, Allah going to test you with the river. And this is a story I told you in the Old Testament also. That he said, Allah going to test you with the river, and your obedience, listen to the command of the king, will be to see how perseverance you are and patient you are. We will come to a river that is, if all of us start drinking from it, it will be, you will be outcast from the army. You'll be put away from, you'll be not joining us. But except a person would take one handful of water, take a sip. Ghurfa means with hand. Gharfa means some water. He tests them like this. فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ. They said there were about 70, 80,000 people. Only 4,000 did not drink. In some riwayah, they say only 311 or 13 did not drink. But everybody started what? Drinking from the water. If I may go a little bit back, by the way, in changing people's mind, it required a generation of change. You know how many years of change of generation, according to the Quran? 40 years. 40 years, you change generations. Yeah, 40 years. That's how it changed. But our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in 23 years, he have changed all Arabia. And unheard of. That's why he's the most influential person in the history. They drank from the river. Then the number become less. فلما جاوزه هو والذين آمنوا معه, when they passed the river, قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجالوت وجنوده. They said, now we will not be able to fight those people. We don't have the strength to fight them. 400 people, or even 4,000 people. And Jalut was a king also that had a mighty army. قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو الله كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله والله مع الصابرين. The group of them said, guys, it's not about numbers. It's about strength and resilience. How many times a few people can defeat a large number of people with the permission of Allah, bi'idhnillah. And that happened in the battle of what? Of Badr. 1,000 versus 313. They were able to overcome them. But they said, no, don't give up. Remember that if we have the strength, perseverance, and the truth in our side, we're going to prevail. We shall overcome. Huh? We shall overcome. You know what I mean? Right. ولما برزوا لجالوت وجنوده قالوا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. When the two army now facing one another, they made a dua. They seek the help from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the Quran, you see that the power of dua. قال ربي إني مغلوب فانتصر. نوح عليه السلام. ما آمن معه إلا قليل. Few people accepted them. ففتحنا باب السماء بماء منهمر. Allah said we'll send water. We opened the heaven loose and water gushing. ومن على واحد الدسر. And Rasulullah sallallahu made dua in Badr. He was raising his hand so high they could see his underarm. قال اللهم إن تغلب هذه الفئة لن تعبد في الأرض أبدا. Wallah, if this group of people been defeated, I don't know how I can do it. حتى أبو بكر رضي الله عنه قال هون عليك يا رسول الله لا يخزيك الله. Allah will not deprive you. Allah will not have you to lose this power. And they won. They overcome. But they said, oh Allah, and when they advanced to face Jalut and his warriors, they prayed, oh our Lord, shower us with your perseverance and make our steps firm and give us victory over the disbelieving people. وصلنا على القوم الكافرين. They asked for patience, to stand firm, and to overcome. Allah said, فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. طيب. وَقَتَلَ دَاوُدُ جَالُوتَ. Now, in this confrontation, duel, when somebody got out of the army to fight with somebody else, Mubarak call it duel. But Jalut, the king himself, the head of the army, the other army, he says, who will fight me? 1-to-1, duel. Talut said to them, Who will do this? People were worried, scared. Big guy. Good fighter. Dawood alayhi salam was part of the army, but Dawood alayhi salam was a very short man, was short. And Dawood said, I would do it. And Dawood said, whoever will take this man down, I will give him my daughter, and I will have him to become a king after me. For Dawood alayhi salam said, I would do it. And Dawood alayhi salam has something it's called the like swing shot, but you put the stone and you do like this and hit someone with it. Yeah, huh? What is that? It's not a shot, but it is one in the robe and the stone in the back. You don't do it like this. If you swing the and then you hit. Huh? Yeah. A sling. Yeah, slingshot. He said I would do it, and he was good at it before this war. But I hit him once, and the guy's down. Jalut went down. Then the whole army, that's it. The leader's gone. And this is the problem was very charismatic leaders who don't have any thinking, because people put too much trust on one person. And they lost the war. And then Dawood alayhi salam became the king. And actually the Mufassirin, al-Baghawi and others, they're talking about Talut later want to kill Dawood alayhi salam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make Dawood alayhi salam the king. And the story of Dawood alayhi salam been used always as an example. Don't belittle people. They said, don't think this group of people or this. If you oppress somebody, oppress them, they become giant. Become a giant. Like a cat. If you corner the cat, it comes close to the cat, the corner. What happened to the cat? The cat become like a lion. It's going to attack you. Well, if you corner the cat, you have to bear the consequences. Don't corner cats. But he says that وآتاه الله الملك والحكمة وعلمه مما يشاء. Allah gave him the power, political power, the wisdom, and taught him so many things, among them learning the language of the birds, him and Sulaiman alayhi salam. I'd like to end this by saying the following. ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لفسدت الأرض ولكن الله ذو فضل على العالمين تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق وإنك لمن المرسلين. There's social laws in Quran, social laws. Those social laws are fixed laws. They don't change. Physical laws sometimes changes. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have Maryam alayhi salam, to have Isa alayhi salam was our biological father. Have the she-camel come out of a mountain. And so many other examples, the sea split for Musa alayhi salam. But the social laws don't change. Among the social laws, Sunnat al-Tadafu'. Sunnat al-Tadafu', the laws of Tadafu'. What Tadafu'? Check and balance. When people exceed the limits, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make people rise against injustice. The oppressors may do injustice, then people rise against injustice. When people do wrong, other people push them put them in check. This sunnah until the day of judgment. لولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض. That you see mischief and corruption on earth. لهدم الصوامع وبيع وصلوات ومساجد. If there's no tadafu', if you don't stand against injustice, if you don't rise against it, it will continue. Therefore, this is called sunnah al-tadafu'. There's other sunnah called sunnah al-tadawul. Sunnah al-tadawul, which is power does not remain in one hand, nor money. وتلك الأيام إيش؟ نداولها بين الناس. You win sometimes, you lose sometimes. سنة التداول. There's سنة الأجل. لكل أجل كتاب. Everything has to come to an end. Nothing remains the same. Everything has expired this and this. Going to expire. Even civilization. Expiration date. There's nothing remain forever. Then sunnat al-taghyir, the laws of change. إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا إيش؟ بأنفسهم. Allah will not change the condition of people unless the condition of themselves. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after the story of Jalut and Talut and Dawood alayhi salam, He says this is a human, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used human to check on one another. Jalut come to oppress people, and then Talut and this short man, Dawood alayhi salam, was overcome this person called Sunnat al-Tadafu', that it is a law. It's how to understand this sunan, how to understand these laws, make a person be able to navigate life. The more you're understanding them, the more we have a holistic perspective of life. Because sometimes you get fascinated, you think this can remain forever. Like this man who went to his garden in Surah Al-Kahf. قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا وما أظن الساعة قائمة. He didn't understand Sunnah al-Ajal. He said, I don't think my garden will come to an end. God will not take it away. But Allah took it away. But it's very important to understand that everyone has a power. Everyone has a power in their hand. There's expiration date on it. It's going to expire. Ultimately. Either Allah take the power away or take a person from the power. You know, as the French general, what he said? He said, change this guy, change this general in his army. He gave a command. He said, change this person. He said, no, you cannot change him. He said, why? He said, because he's indispensable. What is what? Indispensable. He said to him, grave is full of people who are indispensable. Al-Maqabir Maliyah. Graves are full of people indispensable. Come on. For understanding this story here, this is a story of a few people overcome injustice. Because injustice doesn't have legs. It doesn't stand long. Doomed to collapse. Any injustice, it will not remain. The form will go away. It's a matter of what? A matter of time. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Because the batil is not sustainable. Falsehood is not sustainable. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت تولنا فيمن توليت اكفنا شر ما قضيت انك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما تفرقنا من بعد تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا منا ولا بين شقينا ولا محروما اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار اللهم هذا إدبار ليلك وإقبال نهارك وأصوات دعاتك فاغفر لنا فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد، يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم نسألك خير هذا اليوم وخير ما فيه وخير ما بعده، ونعوذ بك من الشر وشر ما فيه وشر ما بعده. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم رب الناس اذهب الباس اشف أنت الشافي، لا شفاء إلا شفاءك، شفاء الله يغادر سقما. اللهم ارحم امواتنا واموات المسلمين، اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم واكرم نزلهم واسع مدخلهم واسلم خطاياهم بالماء والثلج والبرد. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في كل مكان، اللهم كل الارامل واليتامى والمساكين. اللهم انك ترى مكانهم وتسمع دعاهم ولا يخفى عليك حالهم. اخواننا في فلسطين، اخواننا الويغر، الروهينجا في كشمير، اللهم اغفر القتال والدماء في السودان يا رب العالمين. اللهم توفنا وأنت راض عنا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. آمين.